freshly ground coffee at home is not for everybody. Oh.
Okay, not everybody, but nearly everybody.
Is it sensible to move away from making your morning cup of coffee from your coffee pod machine to buying coffee beans and actually making fresh coffee every morning? Let's make a cup of coffee and demonstrate quite how much time you need to add to your morning routine if you're not just going to throw it in the machine and press a button. First thing about grinding coffee is just quite how good it smells. It will transform your morning having this fresh coffee smell every morning. I'm not trying to win a competition, so I'm not going to measure exactly. I have had this on the digital scales, and with the capsule nearly full of beans, that's 18 grams, which is quite a strong cup of coffee, but I used to like my Americano strong. I'm not finding any problems. Okay, we'll put the coffee in the right end. That quite often makes the grinding a bit easier if you put the coffee in the bit where it goes. So we'll put the lid on and we'll just quickly close the beans up so they don't go stale. One consideration if you are making coffee from bean at home is that they don't last forever. Seems to be, the perceived wisdom is that they last between 4 to 6 weeks once the pack has been opened. So it kind of discounts being able to do both. You can't really open a bag of coffee and also use your Nespresso machine, because the bag of coffee will go off or go stale or whatever it is coffee does. There's absolutely no chance of that happening to me. I'm demolishing a bag in a little over a week. The grinder stopped making the grinding noise. So that's all ground up. We will put that into the AeroPress. The AeroPress was invented by the guy that came up with the frisbee with the hole in the middle. I don't know its proper name. That's quite a coarse grind I've done for the grinder. When I first got it, I used it straight out of the box without making any adjustments. The adjustments are made by twisting this. It's coarser, finer. This is quite a coarse setting. I like it. I've kind of stopped experimenting. I was going to keep going coarser and coarser and coarser, and I haven't done it. I found a setting that I like and I've stuck with it. But we will put our recently boiled water into the AeroPress, trying to cover as many of the coffee grinds as possible. You tend to end up with a bit of a crust on top of the solution, so we just give it a mix. There's all sorts of recommendations about how you should mix your coffee. AeroPress recipes are rampant on the internet. I think when ChatGPT takes control of the planet, it will know how to make a decent AeroPress coffee recipe, at least. So we now need to start the timer. I like to run it for about 2 minutes 45. But I'm not a coffee snob. This is just my morning cup of coffee. Perhaps I'll go off and do something else whilst this is brewing, and I tend to end up with a decent cup of coffee no matter how strict I am. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, the beans. The beans that we're currently using are from somewhere called Sumatra Mantling. The first lot of beans I used was from Brazil. They're both a number 4 roast, which is on the darker end of the spectrum, and they do give a really rich, spicy taste, almost like they've got brown sugar mixed in. It's a very, very tasty cup of coffee. I don't normally just stand here staring at it whilst it steeps. It makes 3 minutes feel like a really long time. Okay, we've got a minute left of the brew. We've got our cup. We don't need the stirrer anymore. There are, apparently you can make enough of this for multiple people at the same time. So instead of just putting the 1 capful in here, you would put 2 capfuls, press it how you would normally press it, and then just add some more water, because the AeroPress chamber isn't big enough to hold multiple cups of coffee. It will only hold 1 dose, and once you've got your dose, if you wanted to share it amongst multiple people, you just add more water. We have 20 seconds left. Did I say how much? 20 seconds left. Did I say how much this cost? This whole setup, the AeroPress and the grinder, came in at £100, which I think is an absolute steal for what I've got and the taste of the coffee. Right, the coffee has now steeped. Stop the alarm. There are different ways of pressing the coffee, apparently. I like to go quite quickly. The correct approach is apparently a slow press, but I press it quite quickly. And then you stop once you hear the air being expelled, the kind of the hissing sound. Give it a second. And there we go. That's a cup of coffee in less than 5 minutes. It's obviously longer than it used to take from the coffee pod machine, but it's a markedly better cup of coffee. Really, really good. So yes, you can replace your Dolce Gusto or Nespresso machine with an AeroPress and a King grinder. You need to add about another 5 minutes to your day. The AeroPress will need cleaning, but you can just rinse it under a tap. And the grinder also needs a little bit of servicing every now and again. I'm several weeks in and I haven't cleaned it yet. I will probably have to stop and clean it. Do it. Buy an AeroPress, buy some coffee beans and enjoy a really, really tasty cup of coffee.